but we're going to start by asking the Environment Secretary about his Brexit campaign, and he's with me now. Now, last time round when you were standing for Prime Minister, it didn't end terribly well. What's different this time round?
Well, I'm ready now, ready to be Prime Minister on day one. I have the experience in 3 senior government offices of delivering sometimes against the odds and delivering with a sense of pace and urgency. And I've outlined a clear Brexit plan, I think the clearest and most comprehensive of any of the candidates, in order to secure a good deal that honours the referendum result.
Well, let's talk about that plan. Under Michael Gove, when will we leave the EU?
At the earliest possible opportunity. I've outlined
a way. What does that mean?
It means that I would have a smart negotiating team led by myself and other politicians rather than officials, explaining to the European Union what needs to change in order to make sure that we honour the referendum result. We would have a full stop to the backstop. We would also have a clear approach to making sure that we had a Canada-style free trade agreement.
I'm come to details later on, but almost every other candidate is very clear that we will leave come hell or high water on the 31st of October. You have been rather different. You've said if it's going to stop us getting the deal we want, we would delay beyond that date. And you've allegedly told colleagues that you could delay until the end of next year. Is that true?
I wouldn't delay until the end of next year, but I think there is a clear choice here.
So how long would you delay for?
There's a clear choice here. If we're on the cusp of a good deal,
Yeah.
if we're making progress, which I believe we will in our negotiations, we're 95% of the way there on October the 31st. Would it really make sense to junk that progress and to say, tell you what, we're leaving without a deal anyway? I'm very worried that if any Prime Minister did that the House of Commons would say, well, we're on course for a deal, now you're going for no deal, we don't have confidence in your government. And that government losing a vote of confidence would precipitate a general election, and we could have Jeremy Corbyn in Downing Street by Christmas. I think that is an irresponsible risk. We must deliver Brexit before the next general election, because we must stop Jeremy Corbyn and Nicola Sturgeon in number 10 Downing Street ruining this country.
Before 2022 is your absolute deadline.
My view is that we should leave before October the 31st, but if we need a few extra days or weeks in order to dot the I's and cross the T's to get us out of the European Union, that is the right thing. We cannot take the risk. We cannot take the risk, Andrew, of not delivering Brexit before the general election, because the real danger to our future and our prosperity is Jeremy Corbyn.
But the general election isn't until 2022. I'm asking you, could, under Michael Gove, we still be in the EU early next year?
No, we want to make sure that
we get out. So it will be definitely this year.
We want to make sure that we get out at the earliest possible opportunity. And the real danger, as you say,
those are words that don't help in a sense. The earliest possible opportunity.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
I've been clear, weeks or days after October the 31st, if we're on the cusp of a deal. But the other thing is, you say that there won't be a general election until 2022. We've heard from Barry Gardiner about the desire of the Labour Party to trigger a vote of confidence if we face no deal. In those circumstances, there is a real risk, which nobody can discount, that we would lose that vote of confidence, and whoever is leading the Conservative Party in a general election before we deliver Brexit would lose. It is not enough simply to believe in Brexit. So you have got to be able to deliver it.
So what do you say to your colleagues? You say, well, there's an obvious answer to this problem. Don't let Parliament sit in October. Then we get out. Parliament can't stop us getting out. We don't, we prorogue. What about that? Dominic Raab suggested that. Tracy, Esther McVeigh was saying the same thing on this programme.
I don't think that is the right thing to do. I think that we live in a parliamentary democracy. Parliament must vote in order to ensure that we leave the European Union. My view is that almost everyone in Parliament voted to trigger Article 50. There are some honourable exceptions like Ken Clarke. When they voted to trigger Article 50, they voted to say that we are leaving the European Union. MPs must honour that referendum result. But we must also respect the fact that we are a parliamentary democracy. And suspending, or as the constitutional experts call it, proroguing Parliament in order to try to get no deal through, I think would be wrong.
Do you think it would be wrong because it would drag the Queen into the centre of this controversy?
I think it would be wrong for many reasons. I think it would not be true to the best traditions of British democracy. I argued that we should leave the European Union because I wanted us to take back control of our democracy. And that means putting Parliament at the centre of decision-making. Now, I took sacrifices in that campaign, made sacrifices in that campaign in order to secure a restoration of additional powers to Parliament. And I think it is important that we respect that.
Now, you listed the principles behind your Brexit plan, and I've read them and I've listened to them, and I can't for the life of me see what is really different from what Theresa May tried and failed to do.
Well, I would invite you to read it more closely again, Andrew. You're an assiduous reader, but one of the things that I would say is my approach to the backstop is distinctively different, and my approach to free trade is distinctively different. I believe that there is an opportunity for us to deliver an end to the backstop, a full stop to the backstop, and also there's another difference
it's
as well,
which is that can I just put
it's more than a matter of belief.
What your colleague
it is a matter of delivery. I have proven in every job that I've been given, against the odds, that I can deliver.
You got the chance to renegotiate all of this. You got the chance with the Brexit Secretary and do all these things, and you turned it down.
I explained to the Prime Minister that we needed a change of approach. The Prime Minister said that she wanted to stick to this approach, and I respected her decision and wanted to be, as I've always wanted to be, part of a team delivering Brexit. But it is no secret that at different times I said to the Prime Minister, we need a different approach. And I would take a very different approach as Prime Minister. I've shown that when I am given the opportunity to deliver, that I'm ready to deliver, ready to lead.
So you tell us that you can negotiate a different deal. Let me read you Rory Stewart, who may be more straightforward to us with us on all of this. He says, any leadership candidate who is pretending that you're going to go to Brussels and get a different deal simply doesn't understand Brussels, hasn't been following the news, doesn't understand that the European position is very, very clear. And you look at everything that they're saying, both the European leaders and the government of which you are part, the British government, have said the negotiations are over. There is no more negotiation of the withdrawal. Simply changing the Prime Minister isn't going to change those facts.
Changing the Prime Minister changes everything. We can get a better deal. The European Union is clear. They don't want no deal either. And it is also the case that the European Union know that it would be in everyone's benefits to have a deal that can pass Parliament. And I also know from talking to people across Europe that they recognise that change may be required in order to secure a good deal, and that I will work with those in Europe and also in our own Parliament to secure a deal that strengthens the United Kingdom, keeps our union strong, and also enables us to enjoy the many benefits of Brexit.
Another big part of your plan is the so-called Stormont Lock. You're going to revive Northern Irish politics. Can I put it to you that you are the last person who's going to be able to do that, given your past views? We're talking about your past views, your past views on the Good Friday Agreement and the Northern Ireland Accord, which were pretty ferocious.
No, I think I'm the right person to be able to do that, because everybody knows that I'm a unionist to my bootstraps. You know, Andrew, that one of the reasons why I'm in politics is to strengthen the United Kingdom. You know that I have been very critical of terrorism and separatism in the past. That means that I'm in a strong position to command the confidence of the unionists who are our confidence and supply partners.
That's true.
But it is also the case that
in terms of wild language, what you said about the peace agreement was the following. You called it a moral stain, a humiliation of our army, police and parliament, a denial of our national integrity with wickedness at its heart. And that was part of a 17,000-page pamphlet. It wasn't a kind of piece of journalism tossed off, as we all do. It was a really serious piece of thinking, which has not been forgotten in Northern Ireland to this day.
I don't think it was 17,000 pages. I think it was a slightly shorter
words
than that.
Yeah.
But the key thing is, yes, I was critical of some of the ways in which Tony Blair handled the peace process. Yes, I have consistently taken a tough line against terrorism. But it is also the case that we have had now, for 20 years, the benefits of peace in Northern Ireland. And in my current job, I have worked effectively with Irish ministers and representatives of the Irish government in order to ensure that the gains of the peace process have been secured. I've worked hard in Northern Ireland and in the Republic in order to bring people together during the time that I've been in government, and I know that I am ready to deliver a good Brexit deal and also ready to deliver a stronger United Kingdom.